Yo, what is going on, my husbandos and waifus? My name is HERMSAUR, and welcome to another review for you guys. Today, we're going to review Black Clover, episode number 48. This episode is the continuing fight between Vetto versus Finral, Vanessa, and Asta. And in this fight, we see that Vetto is starting to read Asta's movements. The reason why he was holding himself back from attacking at some certain point was because he was starting to read, and he was trying to understand the predictability of how Finral and Vanessa are using Asta to traject his attacks. Now, Asta, Finral, and Vanessa, very strong trio. You can only imagine how strong Asta would be if he was still at full strength, because Asta, of course, he's heavily injured, yet he's still putting such a good fight, and using the speed of Finral and Vanessa alongside with him is giving him that extra oomph. But imagine Asta a lot strong. This fight, this episode was really hype on top of the backstory that we got with Finral and Vanessa. We finally get to see why Finral joined the Black Bulls as well as Vanessa joined the Black Bulls. Though we don't know who really recruited Vanessa, who got her out of that cage, at least in the anime sense. We kind of know. And I feel like in this, we didn't get this in the manga, did we? Can someone remind me? I forgot to check, but for the most part, I know that Vanessa's story was later down along the line. Like, I don't remember seeing Vanessa's part until after this arc. So I felt like they added this, and if they didn't, this is a perfect moment to have this in the anime, because we're starting to see why Asta pushed Luck and Magna. Now we're also seeing why Asta pushes Finral and Vanessa, especially since he's 100% relying on them, and him saying that, I trust you guys. And we see that Finral and Vanessa, them being the two oldest members of the Black Bulls, and also that they have a lot of certain doubts in themselves. Like Finral, he feels like he's useless. He's always compared to his younger brother who is more successful than him, whereas Vanessa, she's a drunkie. She's never really been out of her cage moments. So now that she's here, hearing that Asta is trusting her 100%, and same thing with Finral, I mean, it kind of motivates them forward, and they're like, we do not want to let you down, Asta. We can't, because you trust us, we're not going to let you lose our trust. Then we see the next trio comes in. We see Charmy, we see Gray in her natural form, and we see Gauche. And we see that, of course, now that they're at 100% full strength, they're very strong. And I like how even though Gauche and Charmy and of course Gray can use that moment to attack as well, they're using that moment because they only know, Vetto confirmed it, is that Asta is the only one that can defeat him pretty much, because that sword cuts off his recovery magic. When Noel summoned that dragon and it bit off part of his arm, we see that he was able to bring it back. Asta slices him a little bit, cuts him in the cheek. He's unable to heal himself because Asta's magic sword, or anti-magic sword, pretty much just cuts off the healing ability, my boy. So in this episode, we see a lot of trust. We see a lot of belief. We see people just saying, Asta, just trust us. We are going to help you defeat Vetto. And I like how Asta's like, why don't you come here, Yami? If you're so much stronger than me, why are you there? Come down here. And Yami, of course, is trying to figure out a way to get down there, because I feel like Yami would just like absolutely destroy Vetto. The reason why he wasn't able to do it last time is because he was fighting 3 of them at the same time. On top of that, he would just finish fighting Leet alongside with Asta. So there was a lot. So now that we're in this moment and we're seeing that the Black Bulls are so much stronger than what people predict them to be, people are just saying, you're part of the Black Bulls, you're the mule of the Black Bulls, especially the Finral, like that's like the weakest group. But in all honesty, this is showing their true strength and that they are able to stand their own and they're able to fight. Do you think the Golden Dawn would be able to stand a chance against Vetto? Maybe you know, but I don't know, to be honest. I feel like this is a really, really big fight. Maybe like the captains or the mains of the Golden Dawn would probably be able to do it, but the lackeys, like the underlings, I don't know, man. I don't know. We see that the Black Bulls only has X amount of members in it. Those members of the Black Bulls are all essential to each other. Anyways, guys, I'm just rambling because because the main portion of this episode was the fighting. And I saw that For Neverworld talked about the animation of Black Bulls kind of deteriorating. I could see that, but at the same time, I feel like there is just so much action going on that I don't see the decline of animation so much. It's not that bad, in my opinion. And at the same time, I know there was recent news that Black Clover might end, but then recently Black Clover is doing well enough that it's going to surpass its 51 episodes. It's going to go all the way to October, I believe. So that's hella good news, guys. I'm very excited about that. Season 2, though, people are like, what about season 2? Like, is season 2 done? We don't know at this very moment, but for the most part, we know they're pushing beyond episode 51. So that's freaking amazing. Hell yeah. So yeah, anyways, guys, that is my review and just a little talk about Black Clover. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like for me because that would help me a lot. How do you feel about this episode? It's coming, my boys. It's coming.